Apologize for that, everybody. Mike was obviously muted, so right now we're just looking at this lead pack here of your fastest in practice, Gregory Velati, Jarrett Ferreira, and that number 6. But I was just mentioning about the charter system here. There are some drivers that did not make it. It says that Garth Griswold did not make it, but we did see him, as you saw on the timing and scoring. You saw his truck sitting in pit road here. You see Garth sitting there. Maybe he accidentally joined. I could see that. Obviously, Garth, one of the admins here. Maybe he accidentally joined. We'll see if he continues the race here. But according to this entry list, the 00, the 87 of John Connor, the number 14 of Cameron Albertson, the number 28 of Jonathan Ledger, the number 20 of Austin Runkle, the number 65, number 63, my apologies, of Kenry Kalhoff and Nim Silva, and that number 39. Not eligible to race in here, just did not make it on speed. And obviously all those drivers are just going to be part-time drivers. So not really a big deal for them. Just wanted to race in the season opener, race here at Daytona International Speedway. The just historic track here, but obviously not the end of the world. You see number 18 of Caden Perkins in that number 18 machine. P6 in practice right now. And remember, everybody in here did lock their way in on speed in qualifying prior to this race here. So we'll just be doing about, I think they said about 30 minutes to an hour of practice, and then we'll head straight into the race. As you see, just under 3 minutes left in the practice here. But man, it feels so good to see these trucks back on track. We did a couple races for the Crown Jewel VRS Truck Series last year, and it feels so good to be calling these races full time. No Gavin Austin this week, as he actually is on his way back home from watching the Daytona 500 there at Daytona International Speedway. Exciting finishes for the trucks, the Xfinity and the Cup Series. Obviously a little bit of a controversial take on the Cup Series, but even fantastic racing in the ARCA Series. You saw, some new names like Elio Castroneves racing that ARCA Series to, be allowed to race in the Cup Series. Unfortunately, Castroneves not having the best luck in the Cup race there, unfortunately. But good news to hear that he does want to come back and potentially race some more Cup Series races. Maybe not on the super speedway, as he said, but maybe a road course. So that's pretty cool to see, having these new faces in, coming into NASCAR with that Project 91 entry from Trackhouse Racing. Looking at Jacob Quill, piece 11, sitting in the pit road there with that Team Conti DG machine. Jacob Quill going to be really quick here, I think. Nathaniel Campbell, one of your VRS members and broadcasters, sitting here P12 in that number 82 machine. That bright yellow machine. Look for Nathaniel to make some moves up here, but I am very impressed with this 6 car and this 11 car. Very similar schemes on those machines, and both same manufacturers, so potentially some teammates up front here. I will admit, did not do my homework like I probably should have. And you see the number 21 there, Adam Smith, P3, and Kyle Sosnoski back there, and the number 16 machine, P4, out on track. Just under a minute left in practice, and this is where you're going to start to really see drivers get aggressive, maybe trying to figure out. Like you see the number 74 and that number 34, trying to use that tandem, trying to figure out how that works here with just less than a minute left in practice. With that Beast Mode 74 and then that 34 machine right in front of them there. See that VRS Truck Series banner that you're going to see on most of these trucks, and you're going to see those contingencies on the side. Obviously, a lot of sponsors, a lot of help to get this Truck Series running, and so they did make this really nice looking banner here for this VRS Truck Series to try to promote their sponsors, promote the people that help make everything go around here, so we can actually go on board with a number 34 and look back. As you see, practice done here, and no qualifying. As I said earlier, these drivers locked their way into the race. You're going to see a day to night transition, as we will be racing under the lights here at Daytona, as we wait on some of these drivers to grid up, get ready to go racing here at Daytona, we will wait just a quick second as the drivers, especially with these open sets, have a lot of tools in their toolbox to adjust the setup before they get in the truck, and to make it maybe a little bit easier. Maybe, trying some experimental tape and stuff. With open set, you can have whatever you want really on that truck. As long as it passes tech, you can really run whatever you want here in the VRS truck series. So you're going to see some guys maybe adjusting the tape, maybe making a few minor adjustments before they get in that truck, maybe adjusting the steering ratio, maybe adjusting the brake bias, whatever they need to do to make that truck competitive here is what they are going to do here. So we'll wait on this top 10 to grid up here. I think we have most of our drivers here. We'll start, and we'll get your starting grid here. Okie dokie. So starting on pole is going to be Boyd Hoggan with Nathaniel Campbell. You see him blinking a little bit. Starting outside row number 1 here for this Daytona race. Starting third is going to be Blake Roebuck with Chris Mathis starting in that 4th place. Jacob Quill in the number 77 going to be P5 with Dominic Lee outside of that row, number 3. Number 4, Stephen Menke in that number 2 machine with Lucas Edwards and P number 7. And P number 8, my apologies. P9 is going to be William Ransom with Kyle Sosnoski in that number 16, rounding out the top 10. P11, Stuart Harding Walker with Jordan Slater rounding out row 6. Patrick McPeak in at number 61, going to be starting in P13 with Aaron Longworth and P14. Carl Field with Caden Perkins going to be 15th and 16th. Garrett Ferreira with Adam Smith going to be row 9. Row 10 is going to be Josh Stoles with Caleb Begg in that number 98 machine. Row 11 is going to be Munatsi Major with Michael Deitch in that number 51 machine, in that Cambridge machine, in row 11. Ryan Taft starting P23 with Noah Hunt in that number 45 machine, and P24. P25 is going to be Chris Vickery with Jeremy T-Bon rounding out row 13. Row 14 is going to be Matthew Campbell with Julia Kanomic. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And P28. Matthew Owens with Gregory Velati and rounding out your row 15. Row 16, Keegan Kimber with Chris Davis. Rodney Pitcock with Noah Nicholson. And Garth Griswold. Gonna start rear end of the field here in P35. Looks like we do have one guy sitting in pit road. Looks like that might be the 21 machine. No, that is not the 21 machine. I did see a truck down pit road here. Cannot identify who that is, but let's look at your race weather right here. 69 degrees, and with just a little bit of wind here, partly cloudy out here with the forecast. But also something we need to look at is your race analysis for tonight's race. Brought to you by Delta Designs. 100 laps here at Daytona. Stages at lap 20 and 40 with you see the 60 mile an hour pit road. Obviously, you can't be speeding in pit road here, especially at these types of drafting tracks. You cannot afford to speed in the pit road there. And 30 to 35 to 40 laps, depending on what you're doing fuel saving wise, you can make it there on fuel. And Rodney Pitcock getting an EOL for tonight's race, probably from something prior in the season, or maybe something from that preseason race. He'll be starting tail end of the field. Now with that all said and done, you do see the lights off on the pace car here. But you know what that means, everybody. Fans, get on your feet. We're getting ready to go green here at Daytona. We're going to give Barney the green flag. And we're going to be green here from Daytona. So number 82 with a run off the top here. Going to get help from the number 17 machine. But you see the 96 with help from the 30. That's Blake Roebuck. And then number 30 trying to push that 96 out. And he's going to lead the first lap here at Daytona. See the 77. Jacob Quill already up to the top 5. Obviously qualified up there in the first 3 rows. Going to try to stay in line here. And this is something you're going to have to think about. 100 laps here. We are racing to the stage at 20. So you're going to see maybe a little bit of a calm before the storm here. You're going to find some drivers, you know, maybe link up with some teammates, or at least just try to get to the bottom. You see that top with not a lot of help, with almost half the cars that bottom had. You're starting to see a lot of people drop to the bottom. Maybe be content sitting in line here versus, you know, everybody trying to make up spots here at the start. You see a lot of maturity out of these drivers already. You know, we saw some drivers, you know, race at Auto Club earlier this year. So a lot of these drivers are already familiarizing themselves with what they can do here on track, and, you know, maybe trying to find who they can work with and who they can't here early in this race. They're still side by side for this front row here. You see the 82 still kind of stuck on the outside, but you still see that 96 of Boyd Hoggan leading the race. 82 Nathaniel Campbell on the outside, trying to get help from Chris Davis in that number 17 machine. And right now it looks like it is starting to work here, as they're going to be side by side going into turn 3. A big shove by the 30. Gonna help get that bottom out to a momentum. Once again, the 96 will lead here going to lap 4. You see side by side by side by side, almost 10 rows deep here, trying to make up spots, as you're going to see Rowe once again give a huge shove to the 96 of Boyd Hoggan there. With 80, but that top is not giving up. Even with the few numbers it does, it still has a, you know, it's still competitive up there. You know, watching the Cup race, we saw a lot of lines and a lot of dynamic racing up front with One Tunnel TV. And you saw just how dynamic the track can be, kind of dynamic everything can kind of be with those Cup cars. But you see kind of the same kind of style of truck racing, kind of single file, kind of a, you know, just kind of sitting in line right now. It's hard to kind of build a big run. You have to have a lot of help to make that top work. With Nathaniel Campbell, who's got a mouthful of that number 17, as you're going to see him try to drop down to the bottom there, as he does. What a move by that number 82 to try to lead this bottom, try to take advantage of this race. And oh, maybe a potentially bad shove gone wrong there. It could have been disastrous. You see that 82, he's actually going to lead his first lap there, as you see on this ticker. Nathaniel Campbell going to lead his first lap here at Daytona. And with that, you're going to have to leave that outside to be, you know, kind of put up with by that 17. As I say that, here comes the 96 of Boyd. He's going to take the top. As now you see the 17 trying to look 3 wide. Oh, maybe some contact there, but 17 just trying to get back in line there. As we're going to see 3 wide now for the lead. 17 looking for some help in the middle there, and you see the 65 going to jump down in the middle lane. But with them going, 3 wide there, it's really killed that top for right now, and it's going to really allow this bottom to start to pull a little bit. Now you almost have 2 trucks clear on that bottom with the 30 of Blake Roebuck almost clear. But with how super speedway racing works, you can be clear one in the one corner, and now side by side in the next, you see the middle line now starting to get some momentum with the 17 trying to get side by side for this lead here with a huge shove by that second place driver in the middle. I think that is Lucas Edwards in that number 85 machine. Go side by side. You see the 17 drop down on the bottom. Now the 85 is going to lead that middle line. And that 85 is going to take the lead here at Daytona. Three wide. Oh, some contact in the middle. You see the 17 and the 76 make some contact. That's William Ransone in that number 76. As you see the 17 going to drop to the back here. He said, I've seen enough. I do not want to tear up my truck early. And he's going to go down to the back. Now that's something you're going to see some of these drivers do. They're not going to like what they see. And they're just going to elect to go back there, drop to the back, and make sure, that their truck is safe there. You see that he has that Major's Garage teammate up there, and right up there, that number 98 machine. So he does have some help if he wants to go up there and get their way up to the front once again. But right now, just trying to play it safe there with that number 17. But back up to the front here, you see Patrick McPeak has made his way up to the front here, leading that middle line. He's going to drop down and lead the bottom. I'm going to leave that Major's Garage machine. Once again, that's a 23 Munatsi Major out by himself, but he will get picked up by the middle lane once again by the 99, I believe. That's Josh Stolz in that number yellow and black machine. You see a lot of blocking up here. You see the 76 go up there, try to block the 23s. Oh, we got a little bit of a stack up. Jacob Quill, what a save. What a save to get everybody out, to keep everybody safe here. You see a driver dropping the back quick there. I figure who that is. I think that was the 16. That was not the 16. But what a save by all these drivers to, keep it green here at Daytona. But remember, stage coming, the 10 to go here. So you're going to start to maybe see aggressive. Stage points are going to mean everything here at Daytona. And you're going to start to see maybe some aggressive driving to get back up to the front here to race for this stage win. See the 77 of Jacob Quill jumping up to push the 96 of Hoggan back up to that lead. And you can see a huge run out of the top. But Patrick McPeak up 12 spots, making it known already that he's going to be aggressive here to get up here, take this track position away, and get up there and try to race for maybe this potential race win here. See McPeak in that number 61. His caution is out. Gonna try to find who's involved here. Oh wow, did you see the 81? You see the number 1 machine, Rodney Pitcock? There's a lot of damage on that machine. We'll go back and see what transponded here. See if we can grab him. Looks like there's so many cars that the Sim might not want to pick up stuff. Looks like this is already the aftermath of maybe what happened here. Let's go on. Let's go see if Chris Davis can show us what happened. Nothing yet. But we did see him a little bit upset. Wow. Okay. So I don't know if maybe he saw something we didn't there, but looks like he just kind of checked up and nowhere for the one to go. It sounds like he just let off the gas, and obviously when you lift at Daytona, you're gonna potentially get wrecked out here, and you see a bunch of cars spinning out. And yeah, I'm not sure what was going on with Chris's machine. Maybe hardware malfunction, maybe? I'm not sure. But that will be your first caution of the race. With that all said and done, 13 complete here at Daytona. I do apologize for the choppiness. Obviously, being here in the central Kansas area, sometimes the internet does not tend to cooperate with me, but we are trying our best to make things the best we can here for you fans at home. Looks like it might be fixing itself. So, but caution out here on lap 13. Patrick McPeak, still your leader here. Lucas Edwards up 6 spots here in that P2 spot. Jacob Quill up 2 spots in that P3. You're running out your fast forward. Caden Perkins in the number 18 machine. As you're probably not going to see a lot of drivers come down and come into the pit road here. Obviously, with the stage at 20, you're going to want to keep that track position. Coming into choose roll, you're going to see Jacob Quill actually pick the top here with the 18 as well on top. Looking at your biggest mover of the race here, Gregory Velati in that number 11 machine, up 19 spots. And that number, Liquid Death. So what a good way for him to move up to the field here. Up 19 spots, now 20 with the choose. But let's her back off on the pace truck. On the pace car, my apologies. And Patrick McPeak and Jacob Quill gonna lead us back to green. So 61 on the inside, 77 on the outside, and we're gonna be 6 to go here till the stage. Good jump out of 61 into 85. Now what's the 77 going to do? He's going to need some help from the 18 of Caden Perkins. Is caution back out on the speedway, I think. You see some damage to the 16 of Kyle back here. If Kyle can show us what happened. As wow, a huge stack up here. Once again at the back of the pack. To the first person to go around here. That is, it looks like Field in that unnumbered car. See if he can show us what happened. Wow, so this happened way before. It just looks like a big accordion effect. And fortunately it's gonna take out a bunch of machines here. Go up here, let's look at the 5 machine, see if he saw what happened. So it looks like it did start with the 00 of Griswold. Maybe did not get the best start, and unfortunately just stacked up the 1, which stacked up the 20, which just stacked up the guy behind him, and fortunately the guys in the back just know where to go. And that will always cause a caution. That's just super speedway racing. You're gonna see that accordion everywhere we go. And unfortunately, it took out some guys in the back there. But with 17 of complete there, I'm not sure if this league is going to call the stage. I know some leagues do call the stage with 5 to go here. But we might be doing a green-white checkered for the stage win. And if that's the case, Patrick McPeak is in a really good spot, regardless whether we race it out or not, to potentially win this stage with the good restarts he's had from the pushes of the 85. I'm gonna think it's really good. It's gonna be really hard to beat this 61 to the stage at least. You see Jacob Quill on the apron there. Maybe doing a little bit of fuel saving. Obviously, with lap 40, you can potentially save your way to the end of stage 2 here if you want to try to do that. We looked at with the race analysis brought to you by Delta Designs. 35 to 40 laps is kind of the fuel run. And with the stage 2 ending at 40, you could potentially see some drivers try to save fuel to make it to 40 without having to pit here. Obviously, tires not really important at these super speedways, so really tire wear isn't going to be really an effect at all, as we will be racing it out for the stage. You're going to see the 77 take the top with the 18 on the top again. See the 29. There's the 07 on scoring, but the 29 on screen, that is of Stuart Harding Walker. Gonna pick the inside. He's gonna be the 3rd car on that inside there, with William Ransone. Gonna be starting 6th there, 3rd on that outside in that bright blue truck. Once again, we do apologize for the issues on the broadcast with the chopping and stuff. For people that do not know, it looks like we are having issues just on the YouTube side. We are live over on Twitch, over at twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13. If you guys do want a little bit of a smoother experience, I do not blame you guys for not being too happy with the choppiness. So it looks like it does look a lot better over there on the Twitch side. If you guys do want to go over there and watch the broadcast over there, you're more than welcome to. If not, we do apologize for the inconvenience. We are actively trying to fix it as we speak here. But you will see the space truck come down pit road, take that hard left once again. And we're going to be green-white checker racing to the stage here. 61-77 once again your front row, and we're green once back again here at Daytona. Good push by the inside. 85 and the 61 just link up a lot better than that outside can. I mean, not a lot of relationships between that outside, but still see a little bit of a run from the 77. Trying to side draft that bottom line to try to give him an advantage off the corner here. Trying to wait on this 18 to get back up to him. Jacob Quill with a push from the 18. Gonna try to make it side by side going to turn 3, but still the 61 clear going into the corner. '61. Now the 29 is going to jump up there to try to lead the top. That's Stuart Harding Walker up 9 spots. Trying to run the top. Oh, the 18 is going to get a little bit in trouble, and there they go. Racing for the stage, and you're going to saw, and you knew you were going to see some aggressiveness trying to get those stage points. Is oh wow, what an avoidance by that number 46 machine. That was Jordan Slater. We'll see if we can find the 18 truck, and we'll ride on board with him to see what happened there. Actually, let's go on board with Jordan Slater. You saw him have that amazing avoidance. We're actually going to watch and see what happened from his point of view. I'll have to go back just a little bit more. And you saw him, oh my lord. You saw maybe some contact to the right side, but it could have been a lot worse for that machine there. Yeah, look at that. No damage, at least on the left side of that machine. Great driving by that 46. The series Quebec Dirt, thank you for the raid over on Twitch. I appreciate it, man. I hope the broadcast went well. Right now you're watching the VRS Truck Series here at Daytona. Under caution here with the age of stage 2 here. You're going to see drivers coming down pit road at the end of stage 2. See the 5, you see the 46 coming down pit road. It's going to be a lot of these drivers in the back, right? Might as well, you're in the back. Might as well come down, top off on some fuel, maybe get some tires. And you see a big hurrah of drivers coming out. Coming in and out of pit road. We do have some drivers that elected to stay out. You see the 96 of Boyd Hoggan, Blake Roebuck back there in the 30. Munatsi Major in the 23. He was quick at the preseason race at Auto Club. Dominic Lee stayed out. But these guys pitted a little bit earlier than some of these other drivers. They pitted, 9 laps ago, 5 laps ago with those other cautions. They decided to come down a little bit earlier and pit. So they're going to get the track position now. But everybody else from, looks like 6 on back, Jacob Quill going to be your first driver that came down and pitted after the stage. So no fuel saving here. Maybe just because it is an open set league, remember. These drivers maybe are using a little bit more fuel than maybe these fixed sets. So really maybe fuel saving wasn't an option there. We use our calculations based off of fuel mileage, based off of the fixed set, because obviously everybody has a different set. So we just try to guesstimate what the fuel mileage is going to be for these drivers. Maybe it could be more than 40, maybe it could be less, right? So we did a 35 to 40 is an estimate based off of the iRacing fixed set. So you saw everybody come down, at least top off on fuel here. I mean, it was a free caution, free pit stop. So you see the 96 picked the top, the 30 on the bottom. Munatsi Major picks the top as the 19 of Dominic Lee bottom. Rodney Pitcock going to pick the top as you see, wow, a big jump. I think that's the 85 of Lucas Edwards going to jump up a couple spots picking the tops. And that's going to be your top 6 there. You see the 1, you're going to see the 77 of Jacob Quill with the 29 of Stuart Harding. Going to round out your 4th row with McPeak and Josh Stoles, I believe. No, not McPeak and Josh Stoles. Yes, it will be McPeak and Josh Stoles. That was correct. That's going to be your top 10. Anybody that is new to the server, maybe new to the broadcast, interested in racing in this Crown Jewel community, here in this Twitch chat, I am going to post the Discord. I am going to post the Discord here if you guys are interested in racing and the Crown Jewel. They have a bunch of different series. Maybe. Well, with that, we're going to be going green once again here. Because I don't know why I cannot invite people to the Discord, but make sure to stick around and we can maybe get someone to come in here as we're green once again here. 96 with a huge jump on the top. It's actually going to jump down and clear that bottom as you're going to see really the top 4 kind of get single file quick here. You see the 1 of Rodney Pitcock going to kind of try to catch back on and latch back onto this front 4. So he's going to be able to easily do so. You're going to see Lucas Edwards in that 85 try to run these guys back down. And with something with an open set league, this is something you could potentially see in the trucks, even the Cup Series, right? Obviously, there's still some type of standards that you have to go by. As you see 3 wide back there, maybe for P7. Back down to 2. Saw Patrick McPeak get taken 3. You're going to see him drop down to the bottom as they will run down this pack. That is something you have to think about with these open sets. Obviously, you think of back to maybe like Stuart Haas 2018, where those 4 cars single-handedly just pulled away on their own. That's something that could potentially happen here with these open sets. If these teams or whatever can find that it factor with these setups, they can easily potentially have that happen here at a track like Daytona. So obviously you saw those 4 eventually get caught with the pack here. And remember, with iRacing, I feel like their standards to make a fair setup is a lot more strict than maybe NASCAR is, where you can bend the rules a little bit here and there, even with it comes with the aero, right? Versus these trucks and iRacing, where at the end of the day, right, they're all the same models. You're just basically fixing, the suspension, the aero, a little bit of the aero, right? The tuning of the engine a little bit, right? Versus in real life where you can really do whatever you want with the truck as long as it passes tech. And number 96 is looking quick. Been up here basically the whole race here, up here in the top 5, but you're going to see Jacob Quill with the run on the top. Jacob Quill been up here in the top 5 for most of this race as well. Looking very impressive here at the start of the season here at Daytona. Adam Smith up 15 spots. Going to try to push Jacob Quill up to that lead. But once again, I've just noticed throughout this whole race that top is just not as good as it used to be. I feel like you used to be able to really use that top to get up there, make up some spots, and then jump down. But you've seen, I don't know, maybe the bottom's just pushing a little bit better. Or what, but we have not seen that top work as good as I think I expected it to. Obviously, so Jacob Quill trying to make a run, but is only going to stay maybe side by side with the race leader. You see the 30 of Roebuck doing a really good job keeping that 96 out in the lead here. Still side by side. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 car rows deep. You already see some cars losing the lead draft here. That's going to be back there, the 27th spot. That's Stephen Menke, Matthew Campbell, Chris Davis. Lost this lead pack. Maybe a strategy call. I mean, they got 3 trucks. If they can get linked up, I think they can catch if they hurry. They are only 2 seconds back. But it's a 3v26. If they want to try to catch up to this league pack once again. So maybe a mistake, maybe something that, not on purpose, but you already see them not really wanting to work together here. You see the 2 starting to fall back once again. Maybe issues with one of those trucks. Now back here to the front of the pack here, you still see Jacob Quill, Boyd Hoggan, 1 and 2, still, leading their respective lines. Just kind of a stay in line fest. I mean, remember, these trucks, you don't get a lot of big runs in here. Kind of like how the update with the cup cars are. It's really hard to break up spots. Getting around this lap car, that's the 24. And a good job by the 24 to get off the track. Let these drivers race it out. You see it's still a bunch of damage onto that race truck. Good for him to get out of the way. Let these guys race it out. Don't impede them in any way. It looks like he's out there just to run laps, maybe get some extra points, but maybe drivers who might wreck out later on in the race. Saw the 96s we were talking about that jump up to the top. Now the 30 of Roebuck gonna lead the bottom. You see a driver back there electing to start to drop back to the back of the pack here. You're going to see some drivers elect to do that. They might not like the 2x2. They might not like who's leading the pack. They might not like who's pushing the leader, right? And they're going to say, I'm just going to drop back to the back of the pack here. And we'll go up there and race later when the time seems right. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I'm going to drop to the back. And we'll be back there up later in the race, right? We're looking at 10 to go here at the end of the stage 2. So if you're going to drop back, you're kind of really giving up stage points. And that's why you're seeing these drivers stay aggressive, staying 2x2, not wanting to get single file yet. There's, potentially 10 stage points on the line here if you win this stage. And that precious playoff point for winning the stage. So you're going to see a lot of drivers try to, be up here, be aggressive to potentially win this second stage here. Get some playoff points. You still see the 30 of Roebuck with Dominic Lee now in that P2 spot, trying to push out this bottom lane. You see the 1 of Rodney Pitcock doing a great job trying to stay up there, putting his truck in good positions here. Like I said, you even had, a dominant truck of that 96 jump up to the top. Still really has not been able to find the speed up there. I don't know, maybe it's a new track update, maybe it's a new super speedway update. I know they updated the next gen cars, so they would drive differently here at the super speedways. Maybe they make them drive a little bit more realistically to their real life counterparts. But now you're going to see a little bit of a run from the top. But still, the top not been able to be as dominant as I expected it to. Once again, you have to look at some of your big movers of the race. Remember, Rodney Pitcock had to start from the back of the field here. EOL from a penalty from probably, I presume, the preseason races got caught up in a lot of stuff there. He got an EOL off the start of the race, so it didn't matter where he qualified. He started tail end of the longest line here. So he started way back in 35th place. And up 28 spots here, up to P5. Go side by side here, all around. Really nobody jockeying for position, really nobody cheating up lanes right now. They're just kind of designated, running where they are, pushing that line out in front. Not a whole lot you can do back there when you're sitting back there in 10th, 15th, right? Even up there at 7th. Really, the only trucks that can really do a whole lot is really those front 3 rows. You have to have a good leader who can hold a line to allow that pusher to push him to the best of his ability. And you have to have that truck in 3rd, tucked up behind that 2nd place car in each line to make sure that they have the speed to go up there and push that leader. But besides that, I would say the 4th truck on back really is just right there trying to ride, trying to give himself a position to maybe move up a lane, to maybe give himself better track position. But right now you see everybody content, kind of sitting in line right here. You see the 19 pushing the number 30, and you see that number 77 pushing the 96. So right now, it's just sit and wait until you get a little bit closer to the stage. And once you get to the end of that, it's closer to the end of the stage, you're going to start to see some people maybe try to make a 3. Why? Maybe try to take advantage of some stuff. You see the leader blink out there. The number 30, Roebuck, having some internet issues. Oh, man, that is not good. And there they go. And a big hit for that one machine. And nowhere to go for the one machine there. That is unfortunate. So you're going to see that 30 blink out here. We're looking at this one machine of Rodney Pitcock. Nowhere, the leaders blinked out with connection issues. This is something that happens a lot in the sim. And look at that. The 30 blinks back inside of the 19. And you see the one kind of panic, try to check up. And there it goes. I mean, just nowhere to go for a lot of these drivers. You see the 21. Huge hit into the outside wall, and you see the one car, huge hit into the inside wall there, right next to pit road. Coming out of pit road, my apologies, and just a huge hit for some of these drivers. And unfortunately, that's just the way it is with the sim, right? When you blink out, sometimes there's just nowhere to go. When you blink back in, especially leading the pack, that is the one driver you cannot have blink. And unfortunately, a lot of hard hits for some of these drivers. You see the 21 get up in the air a little bit. You see the 29 up on 2 wheels. And some big hits for some of these drivers here. Not even halfway done with the race. Coming and scoring is not letting us latch onto a driver right now. So you're going to see a great aerial view of this Daytona International Speedway, the world center of racing here. You know, obviously hosts a plethora of races. Daytona 500 to be the one. Rolex 24. You see IMSA come here with the Sports Car Production Challenge with their IMSA stuff. Obviously, the trucks as we're racing here. We might have to show the UI for one quick second here, everybody. We're going to try to find a driver that sim can latch onto. But with that said and done, once again, we're going to probably have, like, once again, a green-white checkered style finish here for this race, for this stage here, potentially. If they shorten the caution here, we might get a one-lap shootout, maybe a green-white checker. So we'll see what race control decides to do here, if they're just going to let it kind of roll out here. And if that's the case, then this 96 of Boyd Hoggan is going to win stage number 2. But what exciting racing we've had here tonight at Daytona. We've had some 2 wide, we've had some 3 wide, we've also had some wrecks, right? We've already had 2 pretty massive wrecks here, and it's unfortunately taken some drivers probably out of this race. You see Chris Mathis in 34 with 18 laps down out of the truck. He took that car to the garage. See Jake Ferreira, 18 laps down as well, and out of the race. See Kane Perkins in the 18. Back there, he's 12 laps down. Chris Vickery, 8 laps down right there in that number 24. You saw him getting lapped by the field earlier this race. Rodney Pitcock has taken his car to the garage. Adam Smith sitting in pit road. You saw him get airborne. And Josh Stoll's back here coming out of pit road and maybe getting some damage fixed right now. The last car on the lead lap back in 29th place. So we know Josh is going to be quick here. He still had a lot of speed at Auto Club in that preseason race. So unfortunate to see him get caught up with some damage. But right now it looks like not a whole lot of damage on that number 99 machine. Yeah, looks like a brand new truck with that Penguin RC machine. Once again, we will have a choose and we will have a one-lap shootout. No, we won't. Because when they go green here, we will be taking it to lap 40. So I think that will mean Boyd will take your stage win here, unless the sturdy machine of Blake Roebuck can get a good jump, maybe beat him to the line. He can maybe steal a stage win away from this 96. Once again, I'll remind everybody before we go green here, the choppiness of the YouTube stream, we do apologize for. We will be working on that extensively throughout the week to get that fixed for next Monday. But we are live over at twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13. If you would like a little bit of a better and a smoother experience, it is the same broadcast, just on a different network. So I do apologize for the ups and downs on the YouTube side of things. We will be getting that fixed throughout the week. We'll be doing a lot of testing to make sure that is solved for next week. Once again, we apologize, but pace car is going to come down and we'll be completing. I don't know if it's going to be at the completion of lap 40 or if it's going to be going at 40. So maybe a one lap shootout here, and we're green once again. A great jump by the 96. Not really anybody wound up on that top. You still see the 30 and that 86 of Ryan Taft. Ryan Taft up 18 spots. Look at him go. And that number 86 Razor machine. Ryan's gonna try to do everything he can to get that 30 up to the lead here, and is doing a pretty good job. No help, and they're just basically tandeming up there on that top lane. But once again, numbers are gonna be preferred here, and you're gonna see now the top start to fall off here. See the 96 starting to get pushed by the 77. 77 is gonna jump up to the top here, and they're gonna drag race for this stage point here. Not gonna be enough for Jacob Quill, and the 96 gonna win stage 2. What a stage 2 finish there. Jacob Quill tried to make something work. And once again, we saw the top just not the preferred lane for this race. For some odd reason. Remember, we've seen the top dominate here, especially in a cup car, and especially in the trucks, right? Where everybody would get single file and kind of run around the top. But for some odd reason today, the top just not being able to work as well as we want. You see the pace car trying to catch back up here to try to lead this pack. I think it's picked at speed here. All these drivers are going to have to slow down and let this pace car by. See the pace car right there, trying to make its way through the field. Some of these guys are going to have to slow down in a hurry if they want to come down and pit. Pass over the camera to the 96. You should be seeing everybody come down pit road here. I don't see why people wouldn't be coming down for this free pit stop at the end of the stage here. Good reset point for all these drivers. See some wave around cars trying to go get their lap back here. You saw all the leaders come in. It's a good opportunity for those lappers to come down and get a free and get their wave around. Obviously, they will be off strategy when it comes to fuel and the pit cycle and stuff, but it is an opportunity to get a lap back. Maybe hope for a caution early so you can come down and top off on fuel there. You see Jacob Quill, I think, beats Griswold off pit road. Was that McPeak? That was McPeak, not Griswold, sorry. As Lucas Edwards actually decides to stay out here, he pitted that last caution. So 4 laps on this stint, but 4 laps less fuel. So he's gonna. That's a very peculiar situation to put yourself in if you are in that 85 machine. Remember, he has to save 4 laps more fuel because obviously you're gonna have to obviously pit at the very least of 1 more time here. So he has to save 4 laps more, unless people are willing to go with him. Maybe he's gonna have some teammates that are willing to go with him, but he has 4 laps less fuel here than the rest of the field, and you might not think that's a big deal maybe if it was at 1.5 miles for a short track, but here at super speedways, if you don't have someone that's willing to go down and pit with you, you know, you could potentially lose the lead draft. You could lose your dancing partners here, and once you are out of the lead draft here, that could be a race over. Seeing Ryan Tapp come up here, he's going to make a bunch of spots up, picking the top here. And as I said now, some of these drivers are starting to learn that the top is just not where you want to be. And you saw the top 5 elect to the bottom. The first person to come up in here and make a ton of spots up was that 86, and he's going to lead the top. It's not even he was the 3rd on top, the 4th on top. He's going to lead this top lane here. You see the 45 of Noah Hunt. We haven't seen him a whole lot this race. He's going to be that in the rounding out your fast four. And Josh Stolz, remember, caught up in that caution before the stage, had some damage, came down, and now he's going to be third in that top lane. So making up a bunch of track position just by choosing the least preferred lane. But we'll see how they can use it to their advantage. Remember, just because you're going to make up the track position now, that bottom is covered up. So if you're trying to make a track position to maybe find this spot on the bottom, that might not happen, because people know now that the bottom is going to be the way you want to go, and they're not going to give you that spot unless there may be a teammate, right? No one's going to give you the room to take advantage and to take that bottom line. They're going to, go out of their way to try to make it inconvenient for you to get down there. So we'll see how this top works on this restart. Maybe, this 86, this 45, and this 99 can work together and maybe make it a little bit more competitive than it has been all race. See someone that's been up front for the most of the race, but you also see someone making their face known here. Noon, we're green back here once again. McPeak with a huge shove to the 85, and once again the top just not being able to get put together like they want to. You're going to see the 77 going to try to latch back onto McPeak on the bottom, and now it's going to be a 4v2 bottom to top, and where everybody else really had a bad start. They will start to catch up here, but not in time to make any moves. '61 jumps up to the top with the help from the 86. Ryan Taft's going to push McPeak out. We'll see if this top can work some more. Right now, Ryan having a hard time trying to stay on the back bumper of that number 61 machine. You see him just swerving back and forth to trying to get connected. Trying to figure out a way to make this top work. Remember, these trucks are a lot more sensitive with the pushes than maybe the Cup cars, even the Xfinity cars. You really have to be centered and punched in right here to make sure that you're doing the best you can to push the leader out front. We do see a little bit of momentum from the top. The 61's going to get side by side. And I think he leads that lap. McPeak does lead that lap. So the top's starting to get some momentum with this 86 and the 61 up front. You see the 45 doing a good job as that third place car. Trying to keep the momentum up. There you see the 45 of Noah Hunt. Up 19 spots. So not the best qualifying for him earlier this week, but already showing that he's going to be really good super speedway racers. Oh, McPeak. Really aggressive block on the 85, but the 85 is going to let him have it. And now what can this 45 do with this top? Remember, the 86 is really just hoping that this 45 can do a good job pushing. See the 45 getting to the rear end, but not being able to make a run. He needs that 82's help to get this momentum up, but you're going to see a run off the top to get at least side by side with the second place car. Now at the quarter of McPeak. Maybe side by side. Not going to be quite side by side going into turn 3. Ryan Taft doing a good job trying to side draft that bottom lane to try to give himself even a chance here on the top. Oh, almost contact between him and 85. Everybody getting a little squirrely. This is what happens when you are forced to kind of pinch that bottom line down. You start to put people in situations that they don't most of the time feel comfortable with. Having to just be as consistent and holding their line as you can, right? when you see that top lane trying to go down the side draft to try to take away the advantage of that bottom in the corners. It makes it really hard for that bottom to excel, right? So some heavy side drafting by the 86. The 45 doing a decent job getting out there and trying to side draft the 85. But I definitely think that 45 would like some help from the 82. That's the 82 of Nathaniel Campbell. Right now, Nathaniel just trying to be safe, right? He's giving them at least a little bit of help, but you see Nathaniel really off the 45, just trying to be safe, trying to keep that truck clean. You see him kind of running the very top versus the two leaders who are kind of trying to side draft the bottom lane. McPeak jumps up, tries to block the top. He's going to do it. But that really stacked up everybody. Ryan Tapp's going to jump down to the bottom, and now that top, it really just got abandoned. Now that 45 really needs the help of the 82 now. Nathaniel does have to step up and try to push this top. Oh, wow. You see Ryan Taft on the apron, trying to get this 61 up front. You see the 45 now abandoned to the bottom, and now you're starting to see the bottom start to prevail. You're starting to see people. Oh, McPeak! What a save by that 61 machine. They have to file back in the P10 spot, but just a bad push by that. Oh, McPeak's going to get turned up in the air. Well, we saw that one live, but we will go back and take a look and see what happened here on lap 51, just crossing the halfway point. We'll go back and look at what happened with McPeak to start this, why he's even back here. See McPeak off the bumper of the 86, just a bad push. You see him actually, if you look right there, it warped inside of that 61 machine. And sometimes that can work. Maybe that does help get the speed, but if you just do it just wrong, you see McPeak off the bumper of the 86, trying to save it. What a great save to keep it clean here. And then he's going to have to force his way back up the track here to not lose the draft. Finds himself back here in the P10 spot. And then something happens here to the 61 machine. Looks like some contact between the 42 and the 82. Really upsets that 42 McDonald's machine, and unfortunately just gets into the right rear of the 61. And you see right there, just a little bit of contact. The 61 gets turned across the field. You know, you see that car get a little bit airborne. You see the 42 up on two wheels, the 81 up on two, maybe even one wheel there, and nowhere to go for some of these trucks. You see the 81 involved. You see some people trying to avoid through the grass, and you see the 76 get involved. So once again, a pretty massive wreck here on lap 51. But with that all said and done, Jacob Quill is going to take the lead off all of that. We didn't even see him really retake the lead. We saw, Ryan Taft have the lead after, shoving that 61 out. And with all that, we now see Jacob Quill take advantage of Ryan Taft, maybe make a mistake, maybe getting a little shooken up, and he's going to take advantage. And now Josh Stoll's up 17 spots. Is going to be in that second place spot. Number 99, after getting caught up in some stuff, looks pretty good right now. We know Josh is quick. He was quick in that Auto Club preseason race. So not surprised to see him up here. Just surprised to see him up here after getting caught up in a wreck. Now the top 10 decided to stay out, but the first car to come down pit road is that number 34 of Matthew Owens. And that number 34 Chevrolet. The 16 of Sosnoski come out here. Carl Field came down pit road. Keenan Kimber comes down pit road in that number 65. And a lot of these other drivers on back also came down pit road. I heard that the 07 Stuart Walking Harding had a crazy look at that wreck, but did not catch it in time, but good for him to get through it. Someone I want to shout out right now is Garth Griswold. Up 31 spots, started back in the back, keeping that truck clean. Garth, one of the admins of the league. Really nice guy, really helping with the broadcast, making sure we're all set and locked in. Garth doing a good job keeping this truck clean with that number 00. Remember, wasn't supposed to be here, as we have a caution once again. My apologies, we're not live. Nathaniel Campbell back on track. Some left front damage to him. Really damage all around. It's just some left front damage, some right front damage. Because we're green once again. What the... The Munatsi Major in that 23 up on the top. Jacob Quill leading the bottom. You saw another little wiggle out of Ryan Taft. The 11 of Gregory Bellotti up into the 6th place spot, up 24 spots. Remember, looked one of the quickest in practice. Now he's up here into the top 6. Jacob Quill on the bottom, trying to lead the lead. Once again, the bottom just doing a better job getting the runs here into the corner. You'll see the top kind of catch up a little bit on the straights, getting that run off, but right now the bottom just so much better in the corner than the outside. It's just so dominant right now. We'll continuing to lead the bottom. Munatsi, I think maybe wants a little bit more help from the 00, but hard to get a run up there to get back up there. Now, when you lift that out of the gas, once again, caution out again. Gonna find where that caution was at. There's a big peak once again, having issues. Oh man, the 76 just turns him around and up and over the 61 goes this time. You can see that 76 with the run, trying to shoot the middle here. Unfortunately, just misjudges it. You see the 76 moving down. I don't think the 61 moving down. I don't think he expects the 76 to take it 3 wide there. And up and over the 61 goes off. You see the undercarriage of that truck, and around the 61 goes again, man. Just ever since he lost that, that track position, he just has not been able to catch a break when it comes to getting involved in these wrecks. And around goes McPeak once again here. Unfortunate. You see him wait to get this truck turned around without impeding any other driver. And he's going to fall all the way back to the back once again. Ryan Taft up here in this P3 spot. Ever since he's gotten the track position, he has not given it away. Granted, he did kind of shove that 61 out of line. Obviously not intentional. Ryan Taft, one of the veterans in this truck series. Really a veteran in this community, this Crown Jewel community. A former team owner of mine in the Cup series. Back when I used to run here in the Crown Jewel community. And just a really nice, really good guy to talk to, a good guy to get advice from when it comes to racing. So obviously not intentional for Ryan getting to the back of the 61, but once again doing a good job keeping this truck up front since he's gotten that track position. Remember, the only reason he has this track position is instead of following in line on the bottom like everybody else did, he took the chance on the top and led that top on that restart, gave himself an opportunity to get this track position, and now look at him back up here in a podium spot right now. And we should be starting to get the shoes here, I believe. Jacob Quill bottom along with the 99 of Souls. Munatsi picks the top. Taft picks the bottom this time. Looks like Garth in the 00 is going to jump up to the second row. And the 85 of Lucas Edwards going to jump up to 6th. The Gregory and that 11 in the 7th place with Keenan Kimber up 23 spots. And that number 65, DeWalt Ford machine. Doing a good job right now getting that track position, keeping his truck clean. Very quiet day for that number 65. Keenan, remember, got shuffled out earlier this race. Went to the back and is kind of stayed back there pretty quietly. But now that the second half of this race is underway, you're starting to see some guys start to sneak in, start to twinkle their way in to here because they know it's time to go. You look at the 5 truck of Julia, up 17 spots. She's doing a fantastic job getting that Canes machine up to the front. Obviously that Tony Bringer Canes machine, a very nice looking machine that Julia's running tonight. Yeah, good for her to keep the truck clean. Remember, not running full time just because she's trying to learn the track, trying to learn these trucks, trying to figure out the schedule, trying to figure out what she can and cannot run. But Great on her right now, running right outside the top 10. Maybe she can sneak her way into the top 10. Maybe in the top 5 if she can get around one of these potential big wrecks happening later on this race. We know they're going to get aggressive. They have to. We're going to see that pace car take a hard left turn on the pit road. And 77 on the bottom, 23 on the top. And we are green with 43 to go. So you see a little blink out of the 86. 11 doing a good job trying to accommodate to him blinking out. We've seen some blinking issues all race here with some of these, with multiple drivers. So I don't know if it's a server issue. I don't know what's going on here, but we have seen some issues when it comes to the blinking here at Daytona, and really the worst place you want to have it. You see the McDonald's machine back there blinking as well towards the back. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully everybody can figure out what they need to do. 77 on the bottom. We're getting pushed by the 99. Is going to lead this lap. Munatsi trying to get a run off the top. Not going to make it happen quite yet. Munatsi with Griswold up behind him, trying to push him out. Garth doing. I've been looking at Garth, and he's doing a good job with the pushing. I feel like if you want someone to lead, to be the pusher of that top, it's got to be someone like him who's going to be steady. He's going to know. He's not going to push them unless he knows it's ready to go, right? He's not going to give them a bad shove. And you're starting to see it now. That top starting to make a little bit of a momentum. I think Munatsi has a chance to lead this lap. He will. Munatsi with that Major's garage machine up front, leading for the first time. Taking a look at Jacob Quill here. Been very dominant all race here. You see leading the race here, currently P2, but leading that bottom line hasn't really gone outside the top 10 all race. So what a job by Jacob Quill, trying to keep that truck up front. He told us in the media day, I'm going to be competitive, you know, I'm good at making sets, I'm an aggressive driver, and you're starting to see it now. Jacob Quill been up here at least in the top 5 all race basically. I feel like that 11th place spot, that 11th place is maybe through green flag, like through pit cycle or something like that, right? Maybe he came down and lost some track position, but immediately came back up here, is now leading this race. Outside starting to get a little bit of a run. Munatsi side by side with the bottom, trying to make something happen. 65 of Keenan Kimber starting to have some issues with the blinking once again. But he's going to figure it out. Now Josh Stoll's going to give a huge shove to the 77. And I feel like that's the big key, is that bottom has just always had good pushers this whole race. Regardless of how good the top is, the bottom just has at least a good enough pusher to keep that leader of the bottom out front. Right now, Jacob Quill's clear of both lanes. So if he wants to jump up there, he can. See the 29 or the 07 back there. I'll back up to the back. That's a Stuart Harding. Walker. Munatsi with another good run here, and he's going to lead this lap for sure. This is the most competitive we've seen this top all race. You now see the 99 and the 77 get clear of that top row, and you're starting to see the bottom start to pick off where it used to be. The top, we thought maybe had a run, maybe to at least stay side by side, but with Stoles being that pusher down on the bottom, it's going to make it really hard for that top to make a run. See Garth doing everything he can to try to get that top as forward as he can, but and on the bottom just so dominant right now. It's just hard to get anybody on that top to go. We've seen multiple drivers, multiple talented drivers, 1-2 on that top, and just have not been able to make it work. As you see Jacob Quill once again to lead another lap here. Jacob Quill leading a good sum of laps here. 14 laps led for that number 77 machine. And with really no help from his teammates, remember that 07 of Stuart Harding Walker has been really towards, is in the back right now. His teammate in that 07 back there in 21st, all alone on that top, trying to make something happen. Yes, he is. He's really making passes on his own up there, trying to get back up to the front. His teammate Noah Nicholson back here, but once again he's back here in the 11th spot, and with really nowhere to go. I mean, he is technically pushing that bottom, but he's not immediately up there helping his teammate. So that just shows how well Jacob has been able to adapt to the drivers around him and figure out what he needs to do. Munatsi with another run though from the back bumper of Griswold. Nothing to make out of it. I'm surprised to see as many people on the top as I am, or throughout the race you've seen drivers just give up on the top after so many laps, but you see almost an equal amount of drivers on the top as you see on the bottom. So maybe some people know, like, hey, if we work hard enough, we might be able to make it work, because I mean, right now you've seen the bottom just being so dominant here. I don't know if it's maybe with the open sets. Obviously, I have not a lot of experience with these open sets, but and now it might be just the bottom is OP with the open, which is how they have these trucks set up. You see him get around the lap car. Nathaniel Campbell going some more laps down after getting caught up in that wreck earlier this race. Daniel actually going a lap down. He had tried to stay up on this lead lap, but finally just lost the lead draft. You see him getting lapped there. Unfortunate for him. You see someone on the wall back there, actually, as we do have a caution. Patrick McPeak around another one. Unlucky day for that 61 machine. See if he can show us what happened here. That's all. You see him get turned around there as well. And we'll go back and actually see what happened. Looks like this was a little bit ahead of Patrick. Looks like maybe the 21 of Adam Smith had something to do with it. That is the 76 of William Ransone. Looks like getting into another incident. Looks like none of his fault this time, though. Yeah, just gets a shove by the 18. And just shoots him down the track, takes out another guy. He goes down the track here. And then just everybody trying to slow up for these drivers. You see the 51 of Deitch blink in. Actually hooked the 61 to the outside wall. You see the 76 trying to save it. You see the 80, the 98 of Caleb Begg trying to get through it. It looks like just a little bit of rear end damage for that driver. But you see a lot of damage to some of these guys in the back, and it seems like that's where these wrecks continue to happen, is towards the back. A little bit of like pushing, a little bit too hard pushing in the back, right? Especially in these trucks where you can't really make a run by pushing that hard in the back. It's a little interesting to see why people continue to do that. But once again, you're going to see all these lead lap cars probably coming out pit road. We're around that fuel mile range where you can make it the rest of the way. So of course you're going to see everybody down pit road. You see 4 or 5 wide off of pit road. Wow, what a battle off pit road. See Julian that 5 come off pit road as well. And while we're under caution, we're actually going to take a quick commercial break. We got to pay for the sponsor somehow, so we'll be right back after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the VRS Truck Series. You see the top 5 here at the bottom. Quill, Kimber, Hunt, Slater, and Souls. Your top 5 here for the Crown Jewel Truck Series. VRS Truck Series. And as you saw that, we saw some lap cars take the wave around. You're going to see them try to move their way up here towards the back end of this field. I think that was the 29. Yes, it was. Getting caught back up to the tail end of the field here. See Patrick McPeak coming back onto the lead lap. Coming back down here, he's going to be 24th. Back to the race here. Jacob Quill elects the top this time. As you see, Keenan Kimber in that number 65 will actually lead this bottom. So your race leader of Jacob Quill elects the top. He likes Noah Fant, I guess, over Jordan Slater in that number 46 machine. So we'll really see. Jacob's been one of the more dominant drivers. We'll see if he can make this top work. It's going to be 65-46 on the bottom and 77-45 on that top. You see the 99 of Josh Stoles also elects the top. And the 11 of Gregory Velati on that. And it's going to be starting in that P5 spot on this restart. Remember, under 30 to go, so it might be time to go here for all these drivers. This car's going to take that hard left turn. We're going to be green here with 28 to go at Daytona. See a good run from the guys on the backstretch here, but once again, that bottom lane are using, not working as good as you got. You see 3 wide there. I think that's the 23 of Munatsi Major that is trying to make the third lane work. And he's going to get spit out there, but he is going to get some help from the 74 of Chris Davis. Chris Davis going to put the bumper to the 23. Chris Davis in the wall. Now you're starting to see the aggressiveness pick up. Munatsi said, I need to get up there and I need to go. Right now with no help, it's going to be hard to keep that spot, keep that track position. As, oh, you see some dicey blocking, some dicey pushing up here towards the front. Now you're starting to see this top at least be comparable to the bottom, as you see one of the more dominant drivers, the Jacob Quill, with a good picture of that 45, trying to make this outside work just for the first time really this race. '77 with the run off the corner. Not going to quite lead that lap. Give it to the 65. See the 99 come up, and they're going to make this third line work. He's going to have help from the 23. Jacob Cole's going to come up and lead the top, and now 3x3. This bottom's going to start to scoot away here. Oh, wow, some dicey push. You see 11 out of line. You see the 65 kind of getting shoved in an awkward spot. But now 3x3 for the lead. Now the 45 is going to have the advantage in the middle. Noah Hunt started in the back here, up 23 positions, going to lead this lap. You see the 65 blinking. That's not what you want to see from the bottom leader. Noah's going to jump down to the bottom. Now he's going to leave that 96 to lead the middle, and that's Keenan Kimber. That is Boyd Hoggan, my apologies. It's, oh, a wreck in the back. Will they call that caution? No, that 98 saves it. Caleb Begg's gonna definitely lose the draft here. That truck looks completely tore up. We're not gonna go full replay. Is a caution will come out. There's another wreck ensues as we were looking at something else. We will look back at what happened here. Looks like the 81 is involved. Oh my lord, we did catch it. We missed the big one. Trying to see if we can find someone who is up here. Looks like the 21 also, once again, has a good view of this. Adam Smith in the 21. Looks like all the leaders collected in this. Wow. We can see if we can grab the 45. Sorry about that, everybody. We'll try to grab this wreck as quick as we can. This is around where it came out. Looking at Jacob Quill here. So a bad angle from the cameras. We'll see if we can get a different angle of this. So the 77, the 71, I'm not sure if there's some net code there or if what happened. But some awkward net code it looks like from that 71. Yeah, I'm not sure if he just lost it on his own, but you see him hook the 45. 45 is going to get in the 30 and just nowhere to go for this top lane. This is why a big reason why a lot of drivers don't even go to the top is because if something like this happens, there is nowhere to go. You see the 99 Nowhere to go. You see the 30 up in the air, up into the catch fence. See the 23. Good on the brakes here, but like, I mean, look at Jacob Quill. Dominated this race and just kind of got caught up in something out of his doing. See the 99 is going to get KO'd by the 85. Get turned around. I mean, just nowhere to go for some of these guys. You see guys wrecking in the back, trying to stay off this wreck. It's just, this is the big one at Daytona. Wow, what a wreck. We're going to go live. We're going to see a lot of these drivers still down pit road. Some drivers exiting pit road. You see Jacob Quill now. Still down pit side. And that took out a lot of your race contenders right there. And Jacob Quill. And led 21 laps. And a lot of damage to that machine now. Well, with that all said and done, that's going to hand over your race lead to some of the guys that got through this wreck. This is going to be the 96 of Boyd and the 65 of Keenan. You see Dominic Lee with a little bit of damage, but he's going to still stay out, try to keep the truck underneath him. He's going to take over that P3 spot. You see a lot of, looks like front damage to that machine. Now you see that left front crinkled up. You see the right side kind of bent up as well. So we'll see how that truck drives in the pack. But he's going to pick the inside lane here. So he's going to be starting to fifth. Third on that bottom. Carl Field in that number, it's supposed to be 15 machine, has been in the back most of this race. And with all this calamity and everything, has found his way up into the P4 spot. So now, if it's not go time anytime, it's go time now. I mean, 20 to go. With how hard it seemed to make this top work, you're gonna have to start making some aggressive moves, starting to make some, borderline moves you probably wouldn't make except for this race win to get up here. Because you've seen this bottom is really the only line that can make stuff work until you get 3x3. Once you get 3x3, it seems like all the lanes are pretty even. But 2x2, we've seen all race. Undeniably, the bottom is the better line, and you're not going to be seeing drivers go 2x2 and just let, this 96 go out there and just walk off with the win here. All these drivers need the playoff points. All these drivers need the win to lock themselves into the playoffs. So, and at the very least, they need the points, right? You see someone like the 23 Munatsi Major back there. And 11th, he definitely should be up here contending for the front here. But once again, green here at Daytona. Bottom gets a really good jump. You see the front two starting to pull away from the field. This is the first time you really see kind of a tandeming work here at the start. But not enough to actually pull away. See the top actually getting a little bit of momentum. Matthew Owens leading the top. You see Carl Fields' truck starting to make some momentum. The 19! Dominic Lee into the inside wall. Will he come back up the track? Will that be a caution? No, it won't. He brings it back onto the track at somewhat type of speed. Icing will not call that, but a tough break for the 19. I mean, that unless he gets a caution, that might be the end of his race right there. As we come back, the bottom has started to figure it out. Now a 3-car breakaway on the bottom, a 2-car breakaway on the top, and you see the 16 of Sosnoski hasn't really been up towards the front all race here. Now he's going to try to push this top. I'm not sure if that 65 is in and is actually pushing that 96. It looks like it might be. Garth Griswold with a huge move on the bottom, trying to get to the bottom line there. And that 96 is lucky that that blink out didn't check up that whole line. When he came back in, when Keeney came back in, he was still somehow pushing that forward out front. With that all said and done, Carl Fields is trying to make a run up to the front here with at the top. That 16 basically, yeah, tandem drafting with that leader. But sooner or later you're gonna have to back off with how easy it is to overheat in these NASCARs these days. You have to. Oh, big wreck in the back. Keen Kimber up and over after getting hooked. Keenan coming up off the apron. And you're going to see the 21 hook, the 86 hooks the 65, and you see another car up on its lid. You see another car, that's Garth. The 00 up on its lid as well. And you see a bunch of cars trying to get through it. You see Garth drive through it after going on his side. And wow, another big one with under 20 to go. See Munatsi trying to get through it here. The 81. You see Jacob Quill back on track with damage. I don't know if he got even more damage from this wreck. Unfortunately, he definitely did. Kind of got ran through and unfortunately was forced to drive into the back of someone who was already spinning out. So even more damage for that number 77. But kind of that front four was not affected by that crash there. So you see Carl, Boyd, and Kyle up here still leading. And somehow that 00 is in third place after going on its side there. That's unbelievable. Well, let's take a look at this 00 to see if there's a lot of damage on here. I don't really see any. And he got flipped somehow, and looks like that car's pretty clean despite what happened to it. Maybe a little bit of right side damage, but it's not enough for Garth to come down and go up the track position. I see no damage on that 00. Wow, that's kind of unbelievable. You might see a little bit of scuffing right after that number, but that's it. Wow. And remember to stick around after the race, as we will be talking to your top three and obviously your race winner here, and before we wrap up the broadcast here on HVTV. Once again, thank you guys so much for coming on, watching the broadcast. Thank you for being so patient with the YouTube side of things. We will be getting that sorted out sooner or later. It looks like the broadcast is looking somewhat more smooth on my end, so. We do apologize for the inconvenience on the broadcasting side of things with the YouTube, but thank you to everybody who was willing to go over there and watch it on the Twitch. We will be taking care of that during the off weeks of us broadcasting here for the Crown Jewel Cup Series, especially here for the VRS Truck Series. But 16 to go, and you only see a handful of cars still immediately on the track. You're going to start seeing some guys just start to try to catch up. You see Aaron back there. Try to catch up. You see some guys trying to catch up here to the field. You still see a lot of guys pit side. 82 coming out of pit road now. See Blake Roebuck in that number 30. He was up there most of the race. You see Jacob Cole back down trying to take some damage. Dominic Lee, remember he got shunted out. That was the caution he needed. But at least he's back up there with everybody. Lucas Edwards out of pit road. Patrick McPeak out of pit road. A tough race for Patrick. Ever since he lost that track position, he's basically been caught up in every wreck. But we'll be going green this time. You see that blue machine of Carl Fields, the 00 of Garth, gonna take that front row. You see Stephen Menke. Haven't seen him a whole lot since the start of the race up here. Gonna try to push that 00 on this restart. The 96 of Boyd. Been up here for most of the race. Been really lucky getting around these wrecks. You see Kyle Sosnoski making his way up here to the front towards the end of the race. Has been very quiet until about 30 to go. You saw him start to make his way up towards the front. Alrighty, going to green here. You're going to see that blue machine of Carl Fields and the 00 on the top. You know, lead us to green. 15 going to 14 to go here. It's time to go. And we're about to go green. We got Carissa zone. We are green once again. Great jump by the 15 and the 96. Once again, the bottom being really the most preferred lane on the restarts we've seen. And we're already 3 wide. Oh, Carl tried to jump down there and squeeze that 74 of Chris Davis. And speaking of Chris Davis, where did he come from? Up 30 spots, up into the P2 spot. Making his way up to the front at the perfect time, at least right now. Right now he's going to be second in that bottom row, trying to run away from the top lane. See Munatsi Major starting to go up to the top. He's going to have to do something to make up some spots. Right now, needs some help from that top to get up to him. Now you have Carl Field and Munatsi Major 1-2 on the top. You see the 96 and the 74. That's Boyd and Davis. And Chris Davis 1-2 on the bottom. We know Munatsi's fast. We know he can be up here, and we know he can lead. But can Carl get him up there in time to maybe race for this lead? Oh, you see a car slow up top. I think that's McPeak. And it is. Another rough moment for the 61 as he's going to drop back to the second pack. Looks like there might have been a little bit of miscommunication on the starter once again. There's a second pack here. See Ryan Taps back there in the 12th spot after getting caught up in some wrecks, still up here in the lead pack, and that's really all you need to be in right now. That's a good spot for Ryan to be in. Really, towards the end of here, all you need to be is in the lead pack to give yourself a shot. If you're in it, you can win it, as they say. It can be a big wreck at the end, and all you need to do is drive through the wreck the best to potentially win this race. See Munatsi still trying to work on this top lane. Did you see? Oh, the 16 is going to jump up now to help this outside and try to make something work. Munatsi doing a good job staying off of him in the corners, and they're going to give him a huge shove down the straights. And he might make this 16 side by side going into turn 3. Not quite, but let's see what this run can do. Give that lap to the 16. What a great job by Munatsi pushing him out there. Now you're going to start to see the side drafting really come to effect off the top. I feel like that's the only way you can keep that bottom down there on the corners, because they're so much better on the corners. On the bottom, you have to side draft. You have to side draft. You have to keep those trucks slowed down as much as you can. Because now side by side for the lead once again coming down the backstretch. Side by side once again, and maybe the top does have something for this bottom once after all. 10 to go now, coming to 9 to go at the line. See the two of Stephen Menke kind of lurking back there in that P5 spot. Third on the bottom, just waiting on something to happen. See the top starting to actually get those runs off the top like you're used to seeing here at these super speedway tracks, especially in these trucks. You see them, lag a little bit back on the corners, but gets a huge run off. And that's a big help from that 32, even in car long, trying to keep up with that 32 to 23 to give him to get that 16 out front here. Now, I wouldn't say it's full go yet. Remember, these drivers, especially people like Munatsi, someone like that 74, if they're just planning on trying to get the best finish they can, they don't really care about winning. They need to save those temps. It's not time to go where you're going to potentially worry about, like, overcooking your truck, right? Because on that last 1 to go, whoever's in that line there, you cannot worry about temps. So you have to push as hard as you can, and hopefully you've cooled off enough, right? Hopefully you don't blow that engine. But right now, I think you're starting to see Munatsi try to not push as aggressively in the corners to save those temps for the straights. See them getting around the lap car here. Lap car getting out of the way. Good for him to do that. See, when you don't have Munatsi pushing as hard as he needs to, you're starting to see this top start to lag back once again comparatively to this bottom. Now you're starting to see the 96 even getting clear in the corners. That's not something you want, because now you're really giving that bottom leader the advantage to do whatever he wants. If he wants to jump up to the top to block that run, now he can, because he is clear. Far along, trying to look 3 wide, thinks better of it. And you're starting to see some guys who really haven't been up here at all start to make their moves. You see the 74. Chris Davis up here. You see that 42. Of Aaron Longworth, right? Has been very quiet all race, but now that it's time to go, they are up here and they are trying to race to at least get a top 5. A win would be nice, but I feel like someone for that 42, it's going to be hard to get up there without the draft packages now. It's hard to pass to try to get up there. You see them getting around to 34. And good for those lappers. Just get out of the way. 5 to go. It's not their race to win. That's really good on them to stay out of the way here. You see the 98 of Caleb Begg back there as well, trying to make himself known in that Major's garage number 8. In 98, it's been very quiet as well. He hasn't been nearly as aggressive to get up here as, you know, Munatsi, his teammate. Munatsi's been up here consistently up front throughout the whole race, besides when he's gotten caught up in wrecks, and even then, look how clean that truck is. But comparatively, what happens now? 4 to go at Daytona. By 2, all the way back to the top 12, top 13, top 14. Now everybody's kind of settled in line. Where do they need to be? What do they need to do? Jacob Quill, despite all that damage back there, is still here in the top pack here. Obviously lots of damage to that machine, but still here, trying to make something happen. Back to the race up front, you still see that 96 of Boyd. Really taking advantage of this top not being able to work. Now you're starting to see 3 wide go. I think that's the 21 machine. Adam Smith going up to that 3rd lane. He's getting helped by the 99. As you're starting to see though, that middle line try to pinch the outside up, trying to scare them into backing out. Not going to happen here with 3 to go. Great run. A great run by the 21. Going to get at least side by side with the row number 3. What's row number 2? See a blinker in that number 42 machine. Not going to be any issue. With no help on that top. Now you should start to see the very top, that 3rd lane, start to have some issues. You see Jacob Quill's going to start to jump up there to try to help that line. I'm not sure if he can even get up to that 3rd line with all that damage. But we'll see what he can do. You see now the 98 of Caleb is going to jump up there, try to make this 3rd lane work. Thinks better of it. Now he's going to jump to the middle. 2 to go. You're going to start to see some aggressiveness. Now you see the 30 go up there and try to run that top line. But now, side by side for the league, the 16 and the 90 and the 96 battle it out for the win here. You see the 99 in the wall. Everybody gets around him, and now nobody on that top except that 21. He needs some help if he wants to make that top line work. Looks like they're trying to shuffle him out though. White flag in the air. Now it's going to be between the 16 and that 96. Can Munatsi do anything to get him up there? A good run by the 16. Good push by Munatsi. Now side by side on the backstretch. And a great push by the 23. Good push by the inside. Now coming into turn 3. Coming out of 4. Who gets it here? To the line. It's going to be the 96, I believe. Too close to call. Timing and scoring is telling me the 16. We're going to have to go back and look at that. Unofficially, it says right now, Kyle Sosnoski is your winner at Daytona. We're definitely going to come and take a look at this at a closer view here, because this is close. Very close. Now it's giving it to the 96 on timing and scoring. Oh, man. I think the 96 got it. And it is giving it to the 96, so Boyd Hogan gonna win at, your, at the season start here at Daytona. What a finish! And you see that 96 burn it down here at Daytona. And what a win for him to win not only here at the World Center Racing, but at the start of the season here. You don't have to worry about points racing no more. You're locked into the playoffs. Congratulations to that number 96. Now, everybody stick around because we are going to talk to your top three of Munatsi Major, Kyle, Sosnoski, and Boyd Hogan. But real quick, while we get everybody in the VC, we're going to go and take a quick commercial break here, and we'll talk to your top three. We're back here at the World Center Racing as we're going to get ready to talk to your top three finishers here. As you see right there, your top finishing P3s, Munatsi Majors, and that number 23. So let's go ahead, get him up in the booth, and let's talk to him. Hey Munatsi, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy? Well, definitely an interesting race for you. You were kind of up there in the top 10, top 5, really all race. But unfortunately, we got some cautions towards the end of that race, and really went to green there with what 10-ish laps to go here. So it looks like a lot of aggressive racing at the end there. But what more did you need to get up there and maybe take that one away from the 96?
To not blow my engine. And then coming out of 4, I saw the 21 had a run up top. I was like, yeah, I'll just jump in front of him and see what happens. Maybe I'll get around on the outside or something. And then didn't really work out that way, but lucky to walk away with a P3 for sure because I was involved in like 5 or 6 crashes. So I mean, to even be in the picture at the end is definitely a win in my book.
No, definitely a lot of chaotic crashes. We saw several trucks like, you know, go take flight basically. So, and looking at this replay, looks like came home with a pretty clean truck, but you know, coming as you brought up the points and everything else, looking at the points and with everything else going into Atlanta, you know, going into another super speedway, what are your thoughts going into next week?
I'm definitely excited for it. I personally really like the super speedways. I feel like I'm stronger at that than like the short tracks and definitely the road courses. So I feel like I want to take advantage of next week and try to have another good showing. And then when we go into Coda, that's when I'll probably start to falter a little bit. But I think next week should go pretty well. Today we had a little bit of misfortune with some of my teammates, Chris Mathis, Chris Vickery. Caleb. They were also caught up in some incidents, unfortunately. So I think next week, once all of our guys are back together again, we should be able to make something happen.
Yeah, definitely excited to see what you guys over at Major's Garage can do. But before we let you go, anybody want to shout out any fans at home, any sponsors, any shout outs you want to thank for this podium spot?
Definitely Major Garage, of course. The three guys I shouted out before, and then we had Colby DiCarlo, who's an Xfinity driver. He was helping us out all race. Dallas Pataska works on our setups, gives us a lot of good pointers. So definitely the Majors team.
Well, definitely a great job by you by just keeping that truck clean, putting yourself in position. But we're gonna definitely let you go down, celebrate with your friends and family, and once again, congratulations on that P3 finish.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
Yep. And that was your third place finisher of Munatsi Major. Once again, great run by him. You know, looked like he had a chance to win when he was up there pushing that outside, but unfortunately, you see in this replay, kind of got squeezed middle three, and still came home with a P3 after that whole carnage and wrecking, and still a good finish for him. And now we're gonna go ahead and talk to your P2 finisher right there, and that number 16 on the outside of Kyle Sosnoski. Hey Kyle, it's Christian up in HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Yep, how you doing, man?
I'm doing okay, and probably not as good as you, but what a race for you. Kind of kept your nose clean throughout the first half of the race, and then kind of looked like when you needed to go, you got your number 16 machine up here, and just a little bit short. What did you need to potentially put yourself up in victory lane here?
I was hoping the 23 there would stay with me, but he did what he thought he had to do and tried to go to my outside there, and then I threw a little bit of a late block on him. And stack up happened, and then the rest is history, and 9/1000 short.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the toughest things you have to live with, especially at these super speedways, is you're so close, but only one person can come home with the win, and fortunately that went to Boyd, but still a great race for you overall. Walk us through, a lot of cautions, and especially you running, trying to stay out of the wrecks, right? You running towards kind of the back of the field. What was it like driving through all these wrecks tonight?
It was definitely a little crazy. I figured playing it patient with my teammate Carl there and kind of hang out in the back. We had a little bit of a mishap on a restart. I forget what lap it was. I got really stacked up towards the beginning there. Got some damage. We were able to get it all fixed up and kind of just really just played a game of attrition a little bit, and slowly just picked cars off, and then it came time to go, and just kind of a little bit of luck, and just were able to get to the outside on a restart, and then a very goodly timed caution allowed us to kind of get first and third for that final restart, and kind of just have a little bit of control of the race from there on out. But it was just hard. It was just Boyd and I were just neck and neck for I felt like the last 15 laps of that race.
No, you guys definitely, when you got up there, you're definitely showing that you were a guy that could race for that win there. But, like I said, only one person can race for the victory. But looking at Atlanta and looking into the next couple of races, what are your thoughts going into next week? And maybe what's a track that you're looking forward to coming to maybe, be a favorite to win?
Definitely, Las Vegas and Homestead, Miami. I'm not. I could do decent enough on the super speedway, but I definitely like the more intermediate tracks, and especially the short tracks when we get to them as well. So hoping once we get to those tracks, kind of be a little bit more control a little bit, and kind of just run my race and hopefully stay within the top 10, top 5, and I have a feeling I'll be seeing Boyd a few more times.
Yeah, I mean, Munatsi talked about him having such a dominant truck and really fast, so I definitely think he'll bring that speed throughout the rest of the way. But before we let you go, is there anybody you want to shout out, thank, any friends or family home, any sponsors, anything you want to shout out for this P2 finish?
Yeah, I definitely would like to thank Jacob, our team owner, and then Carl there for helping me throughout the race, being a really good teammate. Team Conti, and then also Lancaster Bruin. Definitely excited with the second. I can't be too mad about that.
Oh, I definitely agree. I mean, especially with this point style racing with the playoffs and everything, can't be too upset about a P2 finish. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you drag. I'm gonna drag you down and let you celebrate within your friends and family. And once again, congratulations on that P2 finish.
Thank you.
That was your P2 finisher, Kyle, right there in that number 16. We see him right there, but I know you all want to probably hear from the big winner here at the World Center Racing here. Let's go ahead and get Boyd up into the booth. Hey Boyd, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, what a finish between you and the 16. I mean, you were pretty up there the whole race, but walk us through your race, walk us through that finish, and walk us through, you know, how you got up there, right? It's just walk us through your race.
Yeah, it didn't go 100% according to plan. First stage, we stayed up front pretty okay. I think kind of got shuffled out in the third lane there. Just didn't have enough of a push going on the bottom, and you need a little bit of help to do anything really with these. So lost that a little bit. Came down. Uh, Pit just before the end of the first stage. Thought we could get back up and hopefully get the lead back before the end of the stage, but had like one or two yellows in there. Didn't hold on to it as good as we wanted, but ended up squeaking by. Stage two was pretty good. Um, the guys at factory were kind of we kept pretty good control of it, I'd say, with Dominic and Blake. Still getting used to the names over here. But they did a good job keeping us up there in the fight, and then we were gonna just ride it out there the first state or the second state, third stage, and we were just gonna pit as soon as the window opened and separate ourselves, hopefully from the field, and that obviously didn't work because we had the big spree of cautions, so it was pretty much just pit as soon as the window came open and hope we survived, and got a good push back up through the middle there to get back to the lead. Blake got killed, so that sucked, and I think Dominic was involved a little bit, so I think I was the last bullet we had left, and it was just pretty much fighting for my life to stay at least top two in the line, whatever line it was, the whole end of the race there. But big thank you to Chris Davis for the pushes there at the end. He stayed committed pretty good. I tried doing what I could to force him to stay with me because he was such a good pusher. I didn't want him to get away and go pop up to that second lane or a third lane whenever they got going. But definitely felt like it was probably the best truck here. We were really good out front, really good pushing. Just yeah, it all worked out pretty good in the end. It was a little more stressful than we wanted to be, but pretty good run nonetheless.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I wanted to ask you, so when you guys were two by two, which you guys were for most of the field, it looked like that bottom lane was just so much more better than the top. It seemed like whoever was leading the top, it didn't really matter. It just seemed like that bottom was the more dominant lane throughout the run until you guys got three wide, then everything kind of evened out. But is that something you guys really uh found out in the truck, or is it just kind of something that you didn't really think about?
No, it's definitely I'd call it a big focus point for our team whenever we come to these sorts of tracks. Like whenever you're plate racing, you want to be able to get up off the corner better than everybody else, and if you can do that while you're on the bottom and you have a sustainable push below you, then it's really hard to beat two guys doing that. If they got the best truck there, it's going to be a tough day getting around them. You got to be really organized to do it and create a big run from behind. So as long as I kept the guy in second there in behind me tucked up good and hitting me in the right spots, which is usually off a two into three, off a four into one. Like if you can get those contact points down consistently, we're usually gonna have pretty good control of that. So big thank you to everybody on our legacy esports team. Big thank you to Alex Link. I know he was working pretty hard at it there the last couple days here in C Opens, just trying to get the truck right for that. And then I put in a couple hours there before the race started, just trying to make sure that we were going to be good for a full run. And yeah, it was honestly lights out. We could do basically whatever we wanted to with it, and got the job done. So that's huge. And I guess we're in the playoffs now. And thank you guys for putting on the show. Hope that was at least fun to watch. And big thank you to the wifey watching, and Dallas and Alex and everybody else who I know was watching. They messaged me right after it ended, so that was pretty cool. But glad to get one for us.
Yeah, definitely a big relief off your shoulders getting that win here at Daytona World Center Racing and locking yourself into the playoffs. But, you know, photo finish, we definitely love calling this race. I guarantee you the fans love that photo finish. But I guess I'll let you go on and celebrate with your friends and family at home. And hopefully we can talk to you back here in Victory Lane maybe next week at Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Look forward to it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Congratulations. You heard him from the man himself, Boyd Hoggins. Your winner here at Daytona. So while we're here, we'll go ahead and look through your unofficial race results here. Obviously, here in this Crown Jewel League, they can go through and take some positions away, take some stuff away, depending on some protests or whatever. So, but this is your unofficial results here for the VRS Truck Series. So Boyd Hoggan going to be your winner here at Daytona. Kyle Sosnoski, P2. Munatsi Major, we talked to him first in these interviews, going to be your P3 finisher. Stephen Menke, P4. Good run for him. Aaron Longworth, P5. Gregory Bellotti, P6. Ryan Taft, P7. Matthew Campbell, P8, Blake Rubach, P9th, and Chris Davis going to round out your top 10. Caleb Begg, P11, Jacob Quill coming back after getting caught up in that big wreck for top 15. Carl Field, P13, Garth Griswold after getting caught up in a couple of them, also top 15. Nathaniel Campbell, top 15 is really good for him. I mean, you saw him up and down pit road throughout the whole race. Adam Smith, P16, Patrick McPeak, just unfortunate luck for him, you know, was up there leading a majority of that first half of the race. Unfortunately, just got caught up in wreck after wreck after wreck. Unfortunate. Lucas Edwards, P18 and that number 85. Dominic Lee, P19 and that 19 machine. And Stuart Walker, P20. See Josh Stoles get caught up in those last lap cautions back there. Unfortunately, going to be 2 laps down there in that 21st position. Also 2 laps down is going to be Matthew Owens in that number 34, finishing P22. 4 laps down is Chris Vickery and 23rd. 24th, 5 laps down, Jeremy T-Bond. Didn't get to see a lot of him throughout the race, unfortunately. And he's going to finish P24. P25, Noah Hunt in that 45, also up there throughout the whole race. Unfortunate, not going to get the finish he probably wanted. Keenan Kimber, P26, out of the race early. Jordan Slater, 13 laps down in 27th. Noah Nicholson, Julia, and William Ransone out of the race early as well. Along with the people not finishing, Michael Deitch, Caden Perkins, Rodney Pitcock. We saw him get caught up in that pit wall incident. Chris Mathis and Jarrett Ferreira going to round out your field here. But once again, guys, I thank every one of you guys for coming out here and watching the broadcast. Thank you so much for your willingness to come over to the Twitch for people that are still here. Thank you to everybody over in the YouTube chat, commenting and everything else. We will be getting that fixed, but once again, my name was Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator here for HVTV for the Crown Jewel VRS Truck Series. Once again, this was the Fresh from Florida 250 here at Daytona. And once again, I hope everybody has a great rest